a crisp 54 degrees here in Towson. It is quarter zip weather as we welcome you to Hargadon Field at Loyola Blakefield for this afternoon's varsity lacrosse matchup. The Loyola Dons coming off a major come-from-behind victory over Haverford Prep on Tuesday, and they hope to continue their recent success versus a tough opponent in Western Reserve Academy, who have made quick work of each of their opponents so far this season. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm George Schaefer, joined by Logan Kuhn. Logan, what can we expect from these two teams today?
Thank you, George. Well, we can expect a high-paced matchup today that in the end will come down to just how well the Dons defense can hold off the Pioneers. They've had their ups and downs so far this season, with standout performances during the first half against Charminade and the second half against Haverford. However, they had a rough time during the Dons home opener last week versus Georgetown Prep, allowing 15 goals. Western Reserve is looking for a clean sweep of Maryland teams, having down both St. Mary's and Spalding by double digits. So the Dons are really going to need to contain their prolific scoring offense.
Good point, Logan. Well, we spoke to Pioneers head coach Dylan Sheridan and asked him what the thinking was behind scheduling most of his preseason in Baltimore. And he told us that in the end it came down to the fact that Maryland schools are much closer to Hudson, Ohio, where his team is located. He also cited the weather, saying that the conditions in Baltimore were, in theory, more favorable than other areas in the East Coast. And then finally, he referenced his relationship with some of these MIA coaches, and he said he appreciates the tradition and the consistency of their programs. So our face-off to open this one is going to be Loyola senior Alex Heil, the Salisbury commit, going up against number 12 Gentry Curtis, the junior for Western Reserve, committed to Syracuse from Overland Park, Kansas. We are underway here on Hargadon Field. Curtis is going to win this one, and the Syracuse man gets things started for the Pioneers. Ball is out quickly, and Alex Heil is going to pick that one up.
That was a great defensive play right there by Heil.
Heil under a lot of pressure. Ball comes out, and he's going to pick it back up. Triple teams. He shovels it over to Tyler McCautry, who's going to settle things down.
McCautry committed to Ohio State.
He's going to get things off to Bryce Llewellyn, and now Bennett Cook will settle things for the Dons. Evan Baer, the sophomore now. Matthew Caring now, the senior.
And it's turned over in Western Reserve's ball now.
Quickly getting things started are the Pioneers as they're already through on goal. Ball comes out. And a nice check there by the sophomore, Evan Baer. We're going to get a turnover here. McCautry's going to get things started, and we're going to see for the second time already that Pioneers ride. Bing Birch, the Hopkins commit, senior LSM, is able to make it over that midline, get things started. Birch being forced to X, the pull. Cutting inside, Birch tried to shovel it in. And they're going to call it a goal. Bing Birch, the solo.
Hold on, they're looking over it.
And they're going to have to have a quick discussion about this. But I think, Logan, that Bing Birch shoveled that in, and it definitely went in the back of the net. As you saw, that's where the goalie pulled it back from. So in theory, it has to be a goal, Mel.
Yes, that has to be a goal.
And they're going to call it a goal. Bing Birch, the Hopkins commit, gets things started for the Dons. They're on top, 1-0.
What a play by Birch. He took it all the way from the opposite 30.
The Dons lead 1-0, and we're going to get a change in the face-off matchup. Gentry Curtis will not take this one versus Alex Heil. Instead, that's going to be number 42, Coleman McNamara, the Fogo. He's from Ann Arbor, Michigan, but get this, Logan, he's committed to Towson, so he better get used to this area because this is where he'll be spending the next 4 years.
Yeah, I guess this is a great matchup for him right here.
And he beats Heil. So Heil is 0-2 so far to start the afternoon, but the Dons do lead. Western Reserve are going to get things started.
I will say Western Reserve has looked a lot faster than Loyola coming out of the gates.
Graham Ewing is working on Birch now. Senior committed to Fairfield out of Fishers, Indiana. Now it's Darcy Mweg, the midfielder, headed to Brown. He's from Ontario, Canada. And to keep in mind, this is a boarding school, so they have players from all over the nation. As Mwig slides it in and levels things early for the Pioneers.
That goal just looked way too simple. Mwig, that looked like a routine play for him.
Yeah, and Reed Powell looked stunned, the goalie committed to Maryland. He's had a few really solid performances, you know, notably against Chaminade and Haverford recently, but he did struggle a little bit last time he played on Hargadon Field, letting up 15 to the Hoyas.
And, you know, Powell's performance has really just kind of been a sign of how this Don season has gone so far. They've had their great ups and they've had their low downs, and they just need to figure out where they place.
Curtis back out there, and he wins the third faceoff, but drops it instantly. It's picked up by Nevin McNeely, back from injury and headed to Air Force next year, the senior. Here's Matthew Caring. Thought he had a through on goal, but he's going to stay as the shot clock winds down to 60, and the Dons are going to get things going.
Aiden Curry with the ball. Over to Evan Baird.
Here's Bear, fakes one. Tried the bounce shot, no good. Picked up by Caring. Ball is out, picked up by Bear. Bear swings it up top to Cook. Cook fires to the right, no good. And it's going to be picked up by Luca Ball.
Luca Ball, the junior, going to VMI.
He does have a hamstring injury, but he is active today. It's not too serious. As ball comes around the crease, looks for some room. Here's Bear, Caring, 50 to shoot. So the Dons have some time to work a possession in.
Bear trying to find something open.
He's going to flip it to Curry. Back to Bear. Curry now. Cuts inside, uses his left hand, and it goes just over the bar. Really close there. Also in that possession was senior Charlie Sipple. Here's Cook from GLE. And we're going to get a turnover for the Dons. I don't know what it was. I think they maybe said he stepped in the crease.
I believe so. He was very close to the crease from what I could see.
So to get things started for Western Reserve is number 7, Jackson Krause.
Western Reserve retreating.
Yeah, Kellen Bladen getting hounded. And this ball's going to come out. Good job there by Bing Birch.
Birch has been incredible through this game so far.
So Loyola's going to pick this up on the right. It's Reed, Werner, and Birch, the two seniors that tag-teamed Kellen Bladen, the attackman headed to Penn State next year.
And Bladen just really had no chance with Birch right up against him.
Here's Matthew Caring. Caring had an alley, didn't take it. Passes too high for Charlie Sipple. And Caring is... Luca Ball will pick this up. Bear shot, no good. And I think this is going to go the Pioneers' way. It was a nice run out there by defender number 38, Zane McGruder. He's a junior from Milton, Georgia, headed to Penn State next season. Here's Devin Slatterie. He's a local, one of the few from actual Hudson, Ohio, where Western Reserve is located. It's usually people from all over the country. He's one of the few that's actually from Hudson. Ball underneath at X. Llewellyn was playing defense. Around the horn it goes. Fires, no good. It was Hunter Harris, the attackman, that took that one. Harris will get things started at X, following up his own shot. Under 50 to go on the shot clock.
McCautry on the coverage.
Harris coming around X. He has McCautry beat. Never mind.
Beautiful by McCautry.
Here's Darcy Mweg, the goal scorer. Working on Zach Bickle, the sophomore. Mweg, under 30 to shoot now. Bickle wrestles him down. Wig struggling now, gets around the hand, and he's lost it. It's a yard sale. Bickle's going to pick things up.
That is a beautiful play by Bickle.
Picked up by McCautry, and the Dons have numbers. Slowing it down, Tyler McCautry, and he's going to backtrack. And we're going to get a timeout by Loyola Blakefield. If things are tied 1-1, 6:12 to go in this one on Hargaden Field. We'll be back in 30 seconds on the Loyola Sports Network.
Oh, student section.
6:11 to go. 1-1 is your score, Logan. Any thoughts on the opening quarter?
The Dons have really come up here and are ready to play. Not many have expected them to do as well as they have so far and keep Western Academy close.
Yeah, a lot of people were a little concerned given that Western Reserve beat local rival Spalding by 12 goals, only allowing 1. It was a complete blowout, and the Dons are looking certainly much better than Spalding did. Here's J.K. Klein now to Bennett Cook. They're going around the horn quickly. Here's Danny Lally. Cook. Up top to Cole Mosier, the senior. Mosier loses possession. It's going to be picked up by Sipple. Dons have less than 30 to go. Here's Lally. Steps in. Lally with 20. Headed to X. 15 to shoot now. Lally from X. He's going to try and come around the hand.
Don's got to speed things up here.
Here's Klein. Spins around. He's got 5 seconds to shoot. Klein from the ground. And it's saved. Good one there from Western Reserve's Academy's goalie, Cole Narkowitz. Goalie headed to Richmond out of Florida. And they'll start the ride. It's been, pretty fast-paced, like you said, Logan, in the opening intro. Just like you said it would be. And really, though, neither team has too much to show for that.
No, the teams have both been really equally matched so far, with the Dons' best player probably being Bing Birch or Tyler McCautry so far.
Shot hits the post for Hunter Harris, and they had a really good look there. Unfortunate for him. Kellen Bladen's going to get things started working on Birch. Birch high check to Bladen's right shoulder. They've got under 50 to go. Jake Giugino, this senior midfielder, content to kind of sit with this. Working on Brady Callahan. And they'll get things up top. It's Teddy Catras. He's going to carry things around. Catras around X. Really good defense there from Bing Birch, and we got a flag down. And they're going to call this, I believe, on Bing Birch. So, Western Reserve are going to go man up.
The Dons have been playing so physical so far that I knew that was going to happen at some point. Penalty, only 30 seconds.
So the Pioneers will go man up. Good opportunity here for them as it's Darcy Mweg with the ball up top. Harris working quickly now. They got to go around the horn. Bladen shoots and scores. They take advantage of that man-up opportunity, and they put the Pioneers on top for the first time in this game. Up 2-1 with 3:24 to go in this one.
If the Dons are going to stay into this game, they have to stay without mistake.
Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, it is really hard on those man down, possessions when they just keep going around the horn to keep track of the ball. And it's really designed, those penalties, to essentially gift the opposing team a free opportunity to put it in the back of the net. And that's exactly what the Pioneers did there as Loyola are riding close here. Cook chasing.
Loyola seems to be switching to a tighter defense now.
Yeah, Zane McGruder was the one that got it over. And Reserve are going to sit tight here with 2:50 to go in the opening quarter. See if they can go up 3-1. Give themselves an even greater advantage. Here's Mweg. Beats his first man. Carries to X. He thought he had Hunter Harris up top, but McCautry was there. Mweg gets around the other side. He's working on Brady Mern, the senior short stick defensive midfielder headed to Marquette next season. 30 seconds to go from Mweg. Gets past Mern. And they're going to dump it outside. Devin Slatterie now. Bladen. Bladen under pressure from Mern. Gets past Mern. Fires. Nice save from Reed Powell to tip it over. And Holden Slatterie will get things started. We're going to get a whistle here. We're actually going to reset here, put the shot clock back to 39, so they're going to say it didn't hit off of Reed Powell's stick, which will disadvantage the Pioneers as they have 20 seconds less than they originally would. Here's Harris at X working on McCautry. Harris gets around the outside. Nearly beat McCautry. He's going to turn around for the question mark. Fires and scores. Harris beats McCautry on the question mark and puts the Pioneers up 3-1 with under 2 minutes to go in the first.
Now this is a crucial point in the game right here. What are the Dons going to do? They got to change something before this gets way too out of hand. We saw it in Western Reserve's other games where they just pulled ahead quickly, early, and they just never let up.
It is a good point, Logan, and it's kind of what happened against Georgetown Prep. The Dons, they either start a game really well and then fizzle out, or they start not too well and then they build up momentum towards the end. So, seeming like it might be one of those games. As Heil got a break on the faceoff.
My worry for the Dons is that they're just going to build momentum too late, and the Western Reserve will already be up by so much.
Llewellyn dumps it off to Cook, and the Dons are going to get things started. They're not too worried yet. If they score here, it'll be 3-2. Still anyone's game here. Evan Bear is going to carry to X. Finds Luca Ball. Here's Caring. Now Curry, the sophomore. He's going to flip it to Caring. Cook calling for the ball, but Caring spins the other way for Curry. Shot is way high and on to Chestnut Avenue. Bear will pick it up.
I feel bad for whoever's car that hit.
Bear's going to take it from GLE. Curry now. Caring likes that left hand, but he's going to spin back the other way. Here's Cook. Ball. He's going to get the pick from Bear, but spins the other way. Coming around, Luca Ball under some tough pressure here. Curry catches the pass. Here's Cook. Rips it and scores. What a shot. Bennett Cook with 49.6 to go. In the first quarter, it's 3-2.
That was a beautiful comeback by the Dons right there. They really, really needed that, and that was a whizzer by Cook. That was so fast.
And let's talk about that pass, too, for a second from, I actually forget who it was from, but it was just inches away. If that was to the left just a little bit, where it would have been tipped away or intercepted, and it found Cook perfectly, cuts the lead to 1. It's already scored more than Spalding did the entire game against Western Reserve.
We'll take that as a win any day.
Heil back out there, loses a faceoff. And we're going to get a timeout by Western Reserve. Dons respond with 39.3 to go in the opening quarter. We'll be back in 30. Back out of that timeout. Both teams have spent one this quarter. It's 3-2. Western Reserve leads Loyola Dons. If you're just joining us, I'm George Schaefer, joined by Logan Kuhn. Logan, thoughts so far?
It's been a way more competitive game than I anticipated coming into this. It's been very fast-paced, and it's the Dons' time to kind of play a little bit of catch-up here, but they've matched equally with Western Reserve.
Yeah, they have matched up nicely, especially in offense. We had 2 goals. One was a little shovel goal from Bing Birch as he fell to his knees, and the other was a really nice left-handed rip by the Delaware commit, Bennett Cook. As things will get started, it's Hunter Harris. He scored his last goal by beating Tyler McCautry on the question mark. He's facing him now with a minute on the shot clock. He's content to sit here and make McCautry wait. Draws him out of the shade. Harris is going to make his move. Gets around the hand. He's doubled by Werner and McCautry, and Werner picks up the GB. Immediately wrestled away. Loses possession in front of goal. And this one's going to fall into the crease. And either way, you've got a crease violation. Helmet comes off.
This has been such a physical game so
Yeah,
far.
real physical game here. As the helmet came off number 25, Noah Gellert. So I think it's going to be Western Reserve ball. We're going to get maybe a push from behind call, which is not a flag. 74 on the shot clock. Hunter Harris will start.
That is McCautry on the coverage.
Yeah, McCautry and Harris is going to be a matchup to pay attention to all afternoon. And time will expire quickly. At the end of one, it's 3-2 Western Reserve. We're deadlocked here in Towson. Back in a minute on the Loyola Sports Network. Start of the second quarter here on Hargaden Field. It's Dons 2, Pioneers 3. George Schaefer, Logan Kuhn. Logan, thoughts on that opening quarter?
The opening half was really, really good for both teams. Both of them playing each other equally well. Western Academy only up by 1 point compared to the Dons.
Yeah, the battle of Ohio versus Maryland.
And it's been such a physical matchup so far.
Things will get started here. We're going to get a face-off violation on Alex Heil, who struggled a little bit today, but so far this season has been really good. He was a big reason why the Dons had such a good first quarter up in Long Island versus number 3 Chaminade. They closed out that first quarter up 4-0, and a lot of that was due to how well Alex Heil did. Here's Teddy Katras. Working on Callahan. He's going to take him to X. Callahan, the junior, committed to Bryant. Katras comes around the crease, almost stepped in, got lucky to keep his right toe out. Katras comes around the crease the other way, and they're going to get an obvious flag here on Brady Callahan, who came around Katras' shoulder and pulled him down with his stick. So he'll go to the box, and the Pioneers are going to go man up, I assume, for about a minute.
Yeah, that was an egregious tackle. Both of these teams playing extremely physically so far during this game. With the exclamation point being that dog pile during the Dons' goal in the second.
So a 30-second penalty here on number 12. Brady Callahan. Second man up here for Western Reserve as this shot goes way over top. 16 seconds to go on the penalty.
Devon Slatterie had the ball.
Yeah. Shot and no good here for Western Reserve. It was number 33, Kobe Sandin, the junior attackman, another local headed to Jacksonville. Wig. Here's Sandin now. Penalty is cleared, and we are even. Really good job from the Dons to hold this one out. 20 seconds to go on the shot clock. Sandin's going to take it to X, working on Mern. Mern being really physical, coming high. He's going to turn around Sandin, no alley. 5 seconds to go on the shot clock. It's Devin Slatterie. Over top pass, no good. Jack Norris almost recovered, but regardless, the Dons will take over. Here's McCautry. He's got an open lane on the right, and there's going to be no effort of a ride here for the Pioneers as Mern gets things started. Dumps it to Moser, and he's going to come off. Good job there for the Dons to make a stand.
Cole Moser committed to Franklin and Marshall.
Yeah, and he's also a linebacker on the football team as well. He's going to dump it off to J.K. Klein, headed to St. Bonaventure next year. Here's Bennett Cook. Sipple to ball. Here's Lally. Lally beats his man. We're going to get Moser now. Working on Slatterie. Moser, shot clock approaching 30. Cook shots, it's low. No good, but picked up by Lally. Shot clock's going to reset. The Dons have another full minute thanks to that effort from Bennett Cook. Here's Lally on his left hand. Switches back to Cook. Has room. Klein is going to carry to X. Dump it off to Ball. 40 seconds to go. Cook fires, and it's deflected. Stay the Dons' way. As Luca Ball will pick it up. 35 to go on the shot clock. Spins back around the other way. Ball turns around, no angle. He's dump it off to Moser. 30 seconds to go. Moser trying to get around the hand. He does and scores! What a shot! Cole Moser to tie this one up.
What a beautiful shot by Moser.
3-3 here with 8:47 to go in the first half. And Loyola doing everything they can to keep themselves in this one. All tied up with the Pioneers, and suddenly this becomes, and it already was a wide open game, but it just becomes that more close. That much more close.
With the brute physicality, you can just tell how much both of these teams want this win.
Yeah, it's going to be Ben Winnie to take over from the faceoff position. Heil gets a break, and Winnie's going to win this one. I spoke too soon. This is going to go to Hunter Harris, so Western Reserve will get credit for that faceoff win. Loyola haven't won a faceoff yet today. 8:30 to go, and it'll be Hunter Harris.
Western Reserve slowing the ball down.
Yeah, they really want to take their time here, not let things get out of hand, as they were up 3-1. It's all tied up here. They just want to slow things down and try and pick apart this Dons defense, as they did during that first quarter. Shot no good off of Teddy Katris, and it's going to be chased down by Jugino. Kobe Bladen really hit hard here as this pass is high. Picked up by Graham Ewing. Ewing working on Callahan. Low shot and scored. Ewing beats Callahan and puts the Pioneers back up top. It's their second lead of the afternoon. They lead 4-3.
The Pioneers have been really technical all game. They've been shooting amazing.
So it looks like Ben Winnie's going to get the face-off opportunity again. He really nearly won that face-off. He just couldn't hang on. He won the clamp, though, which is a start. See what he can do now. And they're going to say Winnie jumped over. So this will go Western Reserve's way. Here's Darcy Mweg. Working on Werner. Werner's going to keep his stick out in front. Try the lift check, and it works. Nice lift from the Villanova man. Flicks this one to Powell, and the Dons are going to take over.
That was a beautiful check by the big man, Werner.
Llewellyn is going to get things started for the Dons. Made sure to step over that restraining box line just in case, so that the time wouldn't expire. So here's Caring. He's going to swing this one over to Evan Bear. 50 seconds to go on the shot clock. Dons have an opportunity to respond here. Here's Bennett Cook. Caring. Dumps it off to Curry. It was too close, and Curry couldn't see it. We're going to get a scrum here. Curry nearly picked it up, but it's going to be picked up by Teddy Katris instead. Apologies. That's Jackson Krause. And Zane McGruder is going to take it over. Long pull goal from Zane McGruder puts the Pioneers up by 2, their largest lead of the afternoon.
The Dons cannot let another one squeak past them like this. This is where things might get out of hand.
Yeah, we'll get more changes here at the Fogo line. It's going to be Llewellyn on the far side, Brooks Peterson on the near side, and Heil is back in the middle, trying to redeem himself. And he'll be going up against McNamara, the Towson commit. They've been alternating, Western Reserve have, between Gentry Curtis and Coleman McNamara, as Heil is going to get his first win. Heil pushing through on goal. Here's Cook, fires, and hits that left corner. Either way, it's Loyola ball. They're going to get a full 60 seconds here. J.K. Klein is going to slow this down. Danny Lally. Up top. Flick it to Klein. Sipple.
Watch out for Cole Mosier in the middle. He's always dangerous right there.
Lally now Klein, 30 seconds to go on that shot clock. Klein draws 2 out. He's going to flick it to Luca Ball. Ball, Cook. 25 to shoot. And Sipple's going to sit underneath. 20 seconds now. Cook. Give and go with Moser. 10 seconds to go for Lally. Lally inside and out. He's got 5 to go. And they're going to chuck this as far as they can as to not let Western Reserve go on the fast break, and it's another turnover for the Dons. Couldn't find an alley.
Western Reserve's defense just really gave them no opportunity there.
Yeah, really good stand there by the Pioneers. The Dons looked like they were starting to build some momentum and then let up 2 quick ones. See if they can do it again.
They just got to crawl back.
Noah Gallert to Hunter Harris. Harris trying to get around McCautry. That's been the matchup to watch so far this afternoon. Both of them at times have gotten the best of each other. Herring beats McCautry this time. McCautry able to stick close though. And Harris looked to be in a little bit of pain, clutching that left elbow as he's going to charge after this one. But he definitely looks to be a little bit hurt here after a rough check from McCautry, and he's going to go down.
And boy, McCautry does play gorgeous defense. He is rough, he is tough, and he is going to destroy anyone that's in his way if they have the ball.
Harris looks to be fine. I think he's just going to maybe jog off. We're going to get a few substitutions for Western Reserve as Hunter Harris will come off, as will Will Harrington, the senior midfielder. Devin Slatterie is going to come in place of Harris, as will Logan McDougall. Nice find for Slatterie. Cuts inside. He has him beat. And that was a complete guarantee there for Slatterie, as he puts the Pioneers up 6-3. And we're going to get another injury here for the Pioneers as they lead by 3 with under 4 minutes to go in the second.
Western Reserve 6, Loyola 3, Devin Satterley.
That goal by Western Reserve was just some gorgeous movement. And that pass, that was a perfect pass straight to the outside.
Yeah, and it was Slatterie himself who looked a little banged up. He took a hit after he scored and fell right to the ground. Heil back out on the face-off X, going up against Gentry Curtis. They keep switching back and forth, alternating turns.
The Dons really need a kick of momentum here to get things started again. It was tied at half.
Tied at the end of the... Well, they were down, I think, 3-1 at the end of the first. 2-3, sorry. Heil picks this one up. Won his second face-off now. Heil with some room. And we're going to get a timeout by the Dons. They trail by 3, but they still look fired up. We'll be back in 30 on the Loyola Sports Network. 3:43 to go as we welcome you back to Hargadon Field. The Dons trail 6-3 to the Western Reserve Pioneers. It has been good at times, ugly at the others for the Dons. They started things off with Bing Birch, then quickly trailed 3-1, responded to make it 3-3, and now they're down 6-3. So it seems to be a back and forth battle where the Dons can't seem to just get over that last hump and get on top.
I agree. And we're just going to really need to see more consistency from the Dons, especially goalie Reed Powell.
Carrying with some room at X. Carrying is going to sit and wait for someone to get open. Dumps it off to Cook behind the back, no good. And Carrying will pick it up. That would have been some goal.
That would have been amazing. That was still a great play by Cook.
60 seconds to go on the shot clock. It'll reset. They're going to bring it down to 51, actually. I'm going to say it didn't hit the goal. Luca Ball. So 50 to shoot instead of 60. Working on Kraus. Ball falls to his feet, gets right back up, comes around the other hand. Good check there from Kraus. Evan Bear steps, dumps it off to Sipple. Cook. It's going to be wrangled away. Steps back up, under 30 to shoot now. Luca Ball. Spins around Kraus, had the shorty matchup, dumps it off to Cook. Try to catch that with one hand, no can do. Headed quickly the other way. Here's Harrington, fires! And the Dons got lucky that that one didn't go in. It'll be picked up by Holden Slatterie, the junior. We're going to work on Zachary Bickle.
Western Reserve's defense has really been the stars of this game so far. They have not let any shot near the crease.
Katras to Harris. Bladen working on Nevin McNeely. Harris trying to get around McCautry. No can do. Inside. And a nice save there by Reed Powell. That thought for sure that was going to be in. Teddy Katras couldn't get past the stick of Reed Powell. High pass dropped by Bing Birch, but he's going to pick it back up. Dump it off to Curry. Into Moser. Don's moving quickly. Looking for that tic-tac-toe move. And they're going to slow things down. Cook. Under 60 to go. Sorry, under 60 to shoot. Gets the pick off of McCautry, who's going to stay on offense. Cook fires, and a nice shot from Bennett Cook. With the pick and roll off of Tyler McCautry, who stayed on offense. And the Dons respond. They're down 6-4 with a minute and a half to go in this first half.
That was beautiful teamwork with Cook and McCautry there. That goal could not have happened without that McCautry pick.
Yeah, lovely job there by Tyler McCautry. The Dons cut it to 2. Let's see what they can produce for this next minute and a half. See if they can go into the halftime break tied up or even better.
That was certainly the kick of momentum that these Dons needed.
Now, I think it'll be more important that they don't let Western Reserve score than getting one of their own, as McNamara is going to win the faceoff. Heil had a good stretch there. He won 2 or 3 in a row, but McNamara is going to take this one. There's Gunnar Flanagan. Galert. Darcy Mweg, who opened things up on the score sheet for Western Reserve, trying to cut inside on Mern. Couldn't do it. Quick pass inside. And, just gut-wrenching that one. Darcy Mweg got through 2 defenders right in front of the crease and slid that one past Reed Powell. Nothing Powell could do about it. And they lead 7-4, the Pioneers do, with 48 to go.
Right through the legs of Reed Powell, right through 2 defenders. That was just a brilliant play by Western Reserve.
And you thought someone would clamp on that and keep that one out, but yeah, not something you want to see as from a Dons fan's perspective at all. And like we said, it does come down to that defense in the end of the day. Now, the Dons did trail 6-3 versus Haverford at one point. They trailed them at halftime 6-3, I believe, as this one's going to be dropped. And they came back and won that one 9-8, so definitely not out of this by any means. Haverford ranked very similarly to Western Reserve, and this has an eerily similar feel to that game. Jackson Krause. We're going to get a quick timeout here from Western Reserve. They lead 7-4 over the Dons with 20 seconds to go in this half. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Coming out of that timeout, 20.3 on the clock. Dons trail the Pioneers by 3. They lead 7-4, Western Reserve does.
And the Dons have been playing relatively good so far this game. They've matched up pretty equally. It's just that the defense has been shaky at times versus the 13th ranked team in the nation.
Yeah, and the Dons have played really well versus these ranked teams. A lot of argue that they should be ranked, given the way they already beat Haverford, who are ranked. They played Chaminade very well, who are ranked. They played Malvern well, who are ranked. As Moer gets around the hand and scores, he's got a hat trick. And things have gone from bad to worse for the Dons. They trail 8-4 with 7 seconds to go, and that is one you really didn't want to go in.
That was just a bad omen before half. A hat trick from the Canadian, and the Dons really need to recoup at halftime and figure out what went wrong. And I think it's got to do with the defense. They're just way too shaky and leaving way too many things open.
So back to the face-off X for McNamara versus Heil. Loyola, both men on the flank lined up on that far left side in anticipation for what just happened. Either way, it's not going to work. Shot and a save, and if that went in, that would be really disappointing as this first half is over. It's 8-4, the Pioneers lead, and we'll be back in 10 minutes on the Loyola Sports Network. It's a beautiful day for lacrosse here in Towson, Maryland, and we are halfway through this one. Action-packed first half, 8-4. The Pioneers lead it. George Schaefer, Logan Kuhn. Logan, thoughts on that first half?
It was a very, very physical first half, and despite the score, it was actually a lot more evenly matched than it looks.
Yeah, Dons at times have held all the momentum, at times have held no momentum. As Heil will lose this face-off to Curtis. Curtis trying to swim dodge. He's in trouble, but he will get through. That one, they're going to call it out of bounds. It looked close. Reed Werner's going to pick it up, that Nova commit. Powell has to come forward to catch that one.
Powell, the Maryland commit.
Nice find there for Reed Powell, and Curry's got some space. He's going to carry to X. Luca Ball tells him to go back the other way because he has Matthew Caron coming on. Curry didn't see it. Here's Bear. Oh, just over the head of Matthew Caron. That could have been a goal. Caron, low push. And Harris shoots and scores. Dons are getting pummeled here as they trail 9-4. Thanks to the clear from Zane McGruder. Got it to X himself. Dumped it off to Kellen Bladen, who gave it right to Harris, stepped in and scores.
And small mistakes like that one that happened on midfield are the reason that the Dons are going to be down this game. And small mistakes will also be the reason if Western Reserve ends up losing their lead.
So it's not as bad, and see, here's how I view it. If they do lose this game, it at least shows you that the Dons have things to look forward to for the MIAA. Oh, this one almost makes it 10-4. They do have things to look forward to because, you know, watching the Spalding film and watching this game, it almost makes you say, let's go play Spalding next week. Same with St. Mary's. I mean, we do trail by 5, and, you know, things could get worse here. So I do want to knock on wood. But from what we've seen, and even though they're losing by 5, they've played Western Reserve better than their fellow MIA schools, and that is a good thing. Peterson does well here on Noah Gillette. Bing Birch picks this one up. It's the Dons' ball.
And Bing Birch has been playing great ball all day.
Reed Powell signaling for a man to come to him. It was Llewellyn, and Llewellyn loses it to Slatterie. Scrum here. And Zach Bickle picked it up, but they're going to call it back the other way. Western Reserve with an opportunity to put themselves up by 6. So the Dons are in a dangerous spot, Logan.
Yeah, very dangerous. And that dog pile is just a signal of how competitive this game has really been and how physical this game has been so far.
Slatterie in a tough battle with Brady Mern right now. Mern doing well on him.
Mern is the Marquette commit.
Slatterie cuts inside, beats Mern. Mern pushes him back out with help by Tyler McCautry. This one's going to come out, and this one should be going the Dons' way. As Slatterie fell onto the ball, they're going to call it a hold. Birch under immediate pressure from Hunter Harris shovels it off to Mern, who gives it to McCautry. McCautry passes too long for Curry, and it's just mistakes like these that cannot happen for the Dons if they want any chance of getting back into this one.
Small miscues. That is going to dictate this second half.
There's already been 2 terribly dropped passes here in the start of this second half.
And the wind
Harris
getting harder here at Hargaden.
Yeah, it's starting to blow. It's starting to get a little more chilly even though the sun is out. Harris cuts inside, fires, a nice stop there from Reed Powell. And they needed that one. Brady Callahan on the ride under really quick pressure, and Western Reserve know that they can put a lot of pressure on the Dons, and that's why they're doing it so often, as Bickle Another drop here, and this time it's Charlie Sipple. To be fair, he had the sun right in his face, but it's the third dropped pass already, and we're only 4 minutes in. This one's going to go back the Dons' way. Stepped out of bounds.
And what was a very clean first half has now become a very sloppy second half.
Evan Bear trying to avoid getting pushed out of bounds and outrun that double team. He's unable to do so. He gets forced into the corner. Bear hangs onto the ball. Finally, it comes out, and we're going to get a penalty here. I think it's going to be a push in the back. Shot clock will go up, and Luca Ball will pick it up. So nice job by Bear to draw the foul. Luca Ball will come in, and he'll work on number 55, Mozzie Schoen, the defender, headed to Binghamton next year. His ball with a stick in his face. Here's Caring at X, trying to come around. Shot over. Here's Cook. Just a little too high and into the trees.
Western Reserve's defense has been absolutely relentless all game. They have not let up much from the Dons.
Yeah, really, any chance the Dons have come back into this game has just because their offense started to lose some efficiency. And, right after that, the Dons scored 2 goals in a row each time, and that would mean Western Reserve would score 3 or 4 more. Very similar feel to that Georgetown Prep game.
Yeah, the game versus Georgetown Prep, things started off slow, but then just got out of hand so quickly. And it was just goal after goal after goal. And right now we're kind of getting to that point, and I feel like the Dons really need something here to stop the bleeding.
Yeah, they do have a chance still. They could have another come-from-behind win like they did on Tuesday at Haverford. It was really impressive.
Western Reserve, nationally ranked like Haverford. This game has a very similar feel.
Funny thing is, we see a lot of Gilman lacrosse guys walking by us, and maybe they're trying to get a look at these Dons and see what's up.
I mean, the Dons are looking great today, despite the score. I don't blame them.
They look good and they look sloppy at times, but they look better. The main point is that they look better than a lot of their local competition do against a team like this. Bear shot goes over. And another example of that is Calvert Hall, who got pummeled by Hill Academy yesterday. They were down 9-1 at the half. They did come back and they lost 14-11, but still. Good sign if you're the Dons as an off pass from Charlie Sipple. But it looks like this is going to go back to the Dons. They're going to get a little dose of luck. They need to get on the score sheet again here. They haven't scored yet. Ball coming around. Shots. No good. Looked like it could have gone in, but the refs say no. Here's Bear up top. 65 to shoot. Cook passes low. And it looks like Cook is able to save it from going over. But yet another mistake for the Dons.
They really need to clean things up here, and quick.
The sun is in their eyes on this side of the field. And you can see it having an impact. As ball comes over, shot no good. And it's going to be picked up by Zane McGruder, who already has a goal today. And an assist, I believe. However, this time on the ride for the Pioneers. Starting on the clearance, going to be Mitchell Hooten. He'll be staying somewhat local to the Ohio or Midwest-ish area. He'll be headed to Grove City next year out of Western Pennsylvania.
The student section is starting to get loud over there.
Yeah, it's the first time I've heard him yet today. And the Dons are going to need him if they want back in this game. But that is not what you can do if you want to get back into this game. Wide open in front of the crease is number 22, Kellen Bladen. And the Penn State man makes it 10-4 with 5:55 to go in the third.
The Dons, that was just egregious by the Dons defense. I don't think I've ever seen someone so easily just shoot straight down Broadway and get it.
And that's what this Western Reserve offense does to you, the way they move players around. And head coach Dylan Sheridan is going to be proud of his guys because tactically they look very superior to the Dons right now. Going back to Zane McGruder, though, he's heading to Penn next year, and he's been a huge part of this transition game for the Pioneers. The Dons have not been able to figure him out when he comes down with the pole. And you know what they say in lacrosse, the hardest shot to save in lacrosse is an over-the-hand shot from a long pole.
It's always gorgeous to see a long pole shot.
Kellen Bladen and X. Western Reserve crowd getting really hyped up for their guys now. They've come all the way from Hudson, Ohio to see him. Behind the back shot hits the post, and that, in my mind, would have sank any hopes for a comeback watching that happen to you. Coming around. Shot and a save by Reed Powell. It's stick side high for Kellen Bladen, who did score the last goal. And he also tried that behind the back shot that didn't go in. So here's Powell trying to do it himself. Force that defense back. Another drop pass. This time it's Bing Birch. He will pick it up though and lose it right away. They're going to call the over and back. And it's going quickly towards the Pioneers' way. There was a little scuffle at the end of that one. And this one's getting intense.
The brutality right there from Western Reserve was relentless. And they're just doing whatever they want to this Dons defense right now.
Wade, the Canadian, gets things started.
The wind also getting started here.
Yeah, wind is coming hard from left to right on your screen. So it's blowing at the back of Western Reserve while they're on offense. Nice deflection there from Nevin McNeely, but it'll stay. Green ball. Hunter Harris will pick it up. He's working on McNeely now instead of McCautry, who is now working on Slatterie. So a little change from the Dons defense, headed by alumni Alex Bresci, and a nice can opener there from Nevin McNeely on Harris, although it gets right back inside, shot over the bar. And the Dons had a great stand there, and then just immediately let the ball almost right back in front of Reed Powell as McCautry is going to get things started on the clear. Powell's going to push up again.
I feel like the Dons need some more physicality on defense. They're so physical so early, and then they just lost it.
Dons trying to work quickly here. There's a bit more of a sense of urgency than there was earlier on in the quarter and all of the first half. And we were talking last time they get against Georgetown Prep, even though they were down by 5, 6, at some points even 7, that there wasn't a sense of urgency, Logan, to get back in it as quickly as possible, that they'd sit in. You know, while Georgetown Prep would sit there and waste every single minute of the shot clock, when the Dons get the ball back, they were doing pretty much the same, as this is another turnover for the Dons. Luca Ball drops the pass.
These are just some embarrassing miscues by the Dons. I don't know what happened
It's
in the
the fifth or sixth drop pass. And I mean, the sun is really bad here on this field. We have a flag down, and I believe Loyola's going to go man up. And this is one that they're really going to need.
Even without these drop passes, Loyola's just looked a lot more sloppy this half, and I don't know what it is, but they need to get it back and get it back quickly.
So it's a 30-second man up. Not as ideal as you'd hope for, but the penalty is on number 18, Gunnar Flanagan, and this man-up possession will get started for the Dons.
Watch out for short pole Cole Mosier, as he is always dangerous in that middle.
Western Reserve chirping at the Dons. They list off the number of passes. It's a real old one as Bear steps in, carrying. Western Reserve, just the players themselves seem a lot more energized and juiced up to be here, really. Cook comes inside, pass to ball. Now the Klein steps in. Here's Bear. Penalty is released. And a lovely stand here for the Pioneers, and they look really juiced up on the sideline.
The Dons still can find no answer for this Western Reserve defense. They're just
shot.
Them.
Mosier inside, and it goes in somehow. Cole Mosier, it looked more like a pass, an accidental pass, then a shot, and somehow that slipped by the keeper. And it is 10-5 with 2:06 to go in the third quarter. The Dons will take any lucky break they can get, though, Logan.
That was a weird shot by Moser. I think it was supposed to be a pass that was deflected into the goal. And Moser will take it as that is his second goal of the day. And I believe he needs to see some more play time. He has been relentless when he is on the field.
He's the kind of guy you want in the middle because he can box his way out in the crease and slide it in, and that's not exactly what he did there on that play, but he's a threat from outside just as much as he inside the restraining line. Connor Ford being chased relentlessly here. He's going to dump this one off to Luca Ball, and the Dons are being hounded. Werner is going to step up, take it himself in a bounce shot. It's going to be a turnover. Mac Bell couldn't get there in time, but that was so close to going in for Reed Werner. And like we said, those long pull shots, the goalie had no idea where it was going.
No clue.
Would have been a good moment for Reed Werner.
Werner, the commit to Villanova.
Pass is going to be dropped by Jake Gugino. You're going to say he stepped out of bounds, and it's going the Dons' way. Mac Bell, the senior, is going to take this one in. Bell, really good passer. Evan Bear will get things started for the Dons.
Bear, just a sophomore.
Yeah, Loyola has a lot of good young talent on the team, which is a good sign as Cook fires and scores! What a job by Bennett Cook. 10-6 now the Dons trail. They've tacked two in a row back on. The sideline looks into it. The student section looks into it. And if they can carry one or two more into this fourth quarter, it's a game.
And this is exactly what the Dons need. They need to be fast. They need to be physical. That is what has beaten Western Reserve so far in this game. And that shot through the legs was gorgeous by Bennett Cook.
Heil now on the faceoff going up against McNamara. Heil wins the clamp. Sorry, not McNamara, Gentry Curtis. And we're going to get a push in the back here on Brooks Peterson. So it'll be going Western Reserve's way. Let Connor Ford get behind the restraining line. The ref just got that completely wrong, though. Connor Ford didn't need to go behind the restraining line. Ford now working on number 50. Will Harrington. Harrington and Ford will both come off. And it's the man with the hat trick now. Darcy Mweg working on number 26 for the Dons. Wins that matchup. Mweg cuts inside and scores. He had a one-on-one with all the space he wanted versus Will Schultz, the junior LSM who switched recently to short stick defensive midfielder, and Schultz got absolutely cooked. And Mweg makes it 4 goals for himself, 11-6. The Pioneers lead with 33 seconds to go in this third quarter.
Mike, the Canadian, he just looks like he can do whatever he wants. He is definitely the MVP of this game so far for the Pioneers.
Yeah, without any of his goals, this is a one-score game. Heil wins the clamp, but can't hang on. McNamara pushing on goal. Watch that trail check from McNeely. And he does just that. McCautry trying to get over, and he does. Wants to slow things down. We got 2 pulls on offense right now, which can be a big problem. Cook in the double team. The pass is low and dropped by Birch. He's got to chase after it. Birch spins away, and that is the end of the third quarter. 11-6 is your score. The Dons trail by 5, and they're going to need to move quickly early on in the fourth quarter. Logan, what are your thoughts?
This third quarter has been very, very confusing for the Dons. They just looked off to start with, and whether it was the sun or just something else, they really need to get back to the momentum they had in the first quarter. When things were tight, things were close. They've played Western Reserve well, but at some points they've just lost momentum.
So 11-6 they trail, and we'll step aside for a minute. Back soon on the Loyola Sports Network. Well, we got 12 more to play, and the Dons have 5 goals at least to score if they want to win this one.
It's not out of the question either. They've been matching up well with Western Reserve at certain points in this game, and other points they've just looked completely different. There's been 2 different Loyolas that we've seen during this game.
Heil is going to win versus Curtis via the violation, and he's immediately jumped and loses the ball. Just a different energy that we're seeing here from Western Reserve. As Heil wins the faceoff, and then they immediately lose it as Curtis is going to drop this one, picked up by Heil. 2v1, turns around, gives it to Luca Ball. We got a flag down, so the Dons will go man up. 2 flags down. If we're going to get a score here, they'll go man up, so that could quickly make it 11-8. But we'll see. They have to put one in the back of the net right now. Cook lets it bounce into his chest and picks it up. 60 seconds to go on the shot clock. The Dons, they have to be careful with how they use their time. You know, they can't let the clock run out all the way like they did versus Georgetown Prep, but they don't want to rush things either. So here comes Caring. Caring, trail check. And this one will go out of bounds, so the Dons will start their man-up possession. 11:05 to go. They trail by 5, and they'll spend, hopefully, the next minute of that man-up.
The Dons really need to score here and score quickly if they are to get back into this game.
So they're going to talk about the penalty. So it is going to be a 1-minute penalty. That much is confirmed. It's going to be on number 28. Yeah, Mitchell Hooten, who was in that scrum and pulled, I forget who it was, to the ground. But 1 minute to go for man up for these Dons. Klein. Don's going to block out the noise from this Western Reserve sideline. Shot clock in sync with the penalty clock. Ball steps in. Over the top to Bear. Catches it with one hand. Here's Cook. 30 seconds to go on the penalty and the shot clock. Inside to Moser. Shot is blocked. 20 seconds now for the Dons. They got lucky there. Here's Cook. Now Caring. 15 to go. They got to put it in before then. Caring at X. 10 to go. Comes around. Here's Cook. Inside, no look pass to Moser, who picks it up and scores! Lovely 1-2 there. It's Cook and Moser. Brings it within 4.
What a brilliant play by Cole Moser. And is that a hat trick now for him?
I believe it's 2 for Moser, and what a find. The no-look pass, he bobbled it, caught it, And a no-look shot. We got a game with 10 minutes left if they can hang on. Heil and McNamara will face off against each other. The penalty still has 4 seconds left. It's not released from the goal. It was a locked-in penalty. So the Dons have 4 seconds of man up. If they can use it to win the face-off, that's all they need to do. Get another possession and put another one in the back of the net here, Logan.
Well, winning the face-off isn't as easy as it sounds. Don's only winning 4 today.
Heil will win this one, and that's all they need. The penalty is going to be released now. So we're all even. Here's Llewellyn. Going to carry this one up, dump it off to Carring, and him and Werner will check out. Mosier's going to come in, and Evan Bear will come in as well. Carring hasn't scored yet today, but he is a really good shooter. So here's Bear, under pressure, dumps this one off to Mac Bell. Bell to ball. Cook. Sorry. Carring. 30 seconds to go on the shot clock. Carring comes in with his left, leans into it. Pass now to Cook at X. 25. He'll sit and wait. 20 seconds to go on the shot clock. Cook trying to come around here. 15 to go now. Luca Ball. Pick it up. Here's Evan Bear. 10 seconds to go on the shot clock. They got to move. Into Bear. Drops it. 5 seconds to go. He's going to pick it up. Give it to Cook behind the back. Shot. Bounces into the hands of the goalkeeper. It was a nice enough effort from Cook. But now the Dons have to make another defensive stand if they want a chance. They trail by 4, 11-7, with 8:30 to go.
And again, Reston Reserve's defense really just did not let up a single even opportunity for a score there.
Jackson Krause now with it. Now Darcy Mueg with 4 goals. Slatterie. And again, they're just going to sit here, and they're probably going to let all the next 45 seconds drain. Here's Mueg going to carry Brady Callahan down with him to X. Oh, gets around Callahan so nicely. Gets around him again. He's going to come around the other way. Around him a third time. Shot. Gets over, and he just diced up Brady Callahan 3 times. And we're going to get a timeout by Loyola after that. 7:50 to go. They trail by 4, 11-7, and we'll be back in 30. Back after that timeout, 7:50 to go. If you're just joining us, George Schaefer, Logan Kuhn with you. The Dons trail by 4. It's 11-7.
And this is actually 16-6 and 13-1. So the Dons actually playing very great considering
anything, really.
Yeah.
All things considered. Slatterie working on Mern. 20 seconds to shoot, so if the Dons can hold, they would be impressive. If they can't, it would be detrimental. As a nice switch there between Peterson and Mern. Mueg beats Mern, fires and scores. Bounce shot that landed to Powell's left and bounced way up into the corner. Not much he could do as they trail 12-7 now.
Boy, oh boy, is Moeg having a game. That is his 5th goal of the game. And
Yeah,
it is
5th
just-
goal is correct and extremely impressive for him.
And Moeg has just been Powell's kryptonite, I guess you can say. And he has just done whatever he wants with
Yeah.
this.
Brown
Dons
are going to
defense.
love to have him in 2 years. Let's just say that. And
Yeah.
we already commentated on another Brown commit, Rex Adamson, and what an attack Brown is going to have not too far from now in the next 2 or 3 years. They're going to be prolific on offense.
Boy, will they.
Moeg hails out of Barrie, Ontario. See just the lengths he goes to play lacrosse here at Western Reserve, and he plays really good lacrosse too.
Very good lacrosse.
Hunter Harris is another one out of Ontario, and he and Moeg are probably the 2 top guys on that attack.
McCautry on defense.
Yeah, McCautry working on Harris. They've been going at each other all game long. Oh, that's going to be a helmet check from Nevin McNeely. Ref's going to miss it. McNeely doing well, and he gets the ball out. McNeely fails to pick it up, though. Tries to go over the hand, and Nevin McNeely playing real rough there on number 33, Kobe Sladen. Here's Gugino working on Llewellyn. Llewellyn with a nice push there. It's clean. Bickle chasing. 14 seconds to shoot. If they let this in, the Dons, it'll be really disappointing as Hunter Harris fires. Nice save from Reed Powell. But that shot clock's going to go back up to 60, which means another minute will come off the clock. Something the Dons can't have because they're down by 5 with 6 minutes. They're going to need to pace themselves more and more quickly the more time they let off. So they're going to want to force a turnover here. Best case scenario. Harris working on McCautry, trying to slow him down a little bit. McCautry's locked into Hunter Harris. Nice there from McCautry to push him away. Inside to Moeg, drops the pass. And this one's going to go the Dons' way. No. Whoa, Dylan Sheridan. I believe he called that timeout before the ball came out. Really nice timeout there from Dylan Sheridan. And we'll step aside for 30 seconds on the Loyola Sports Network. .5:36 to go in this one. Western Reserve is the dominant party here. They lead 12-7 over the Dons, and they have another 34 seconds of clock to chew.
And the Dons really just need a takeaway here.
Yeah, and they need it quickly too. Not at the cost of another goal here, though. They'd rather lose all of the time on the shot clock and get the ball back than have a goal in the next 10 seconds. Katras inside. He had Moeg open for a second. Katras, 15, working on Mern. Oh, gets around Mern, come around the other way. Chased by Birch. Graham Ewing is going to lose this one. 1 second to go on the shot clock. Bickle will pick it up. Oh, we're going to get a little bit of a scuffle here. Tyler McCautry, getting a little involved. And I think they're going to tell McCautry he's got to come off. hopefully that's not a penalty, and hopefully that doesn't give Western Reserve the ball back, because if it gives them the ball back, that would be a terrible mistake.
And a terrible loss, McCautry. McCautry is probably the best all-around defender this Dons team has, too.
Yeah, and we're seeing not only is Boys Latin here, not only is Gilman here, but Boys Latin is here as well.
Everyone's come to spectate.
Yeah. Just want to get a good look at your opponent,
I would not be surprised if this is one of the best lacrosse games this week in the country. Both of these teams either close to being nationally ranked or nationally ranked.
Lots will argue Loyola should be nationally ranked, and they are going to have the ball. Fortunately, Western Reserve want to make sure that Birch is covered in the middle there, because that could be almost a free goal if he wasn't.
Bing Birch has been playing incredible all day. The Johns Hopkins commit had the first goal of the game.
Yeah, what a goal that was. That was kind of interesting. It took him a second to decide whether or not it was a goal.
Yeah.
Just because the goalie was confused and Birch was confused, it didn't look by their demeanor that it was a goal.
No one knew it was a goal.
Mern is instantly double-teamed. Interesting tactic here. Oh, it's going to be 2 offsetting penalties. And Mern is going to lose the ball. So we got a minute penalty on both sides. Another flag is down on the field, and Hunter Harris is coming out. So now the Dons will be a man up with a man out. So we got 2 penalties active for Western Reserve and 1 active penalty for the Dons, and things are getting chippy here.
Things have been so physical all game, and I had a feeling that things would get chippy.
Yeah.
And it started off with that fight right over there.
Yeah, so Kellen Bladen's out. Hunter Harris is out for the Pioneers, and for the Dons, it's Tyler McCautry. So we got 52 seconds left on the first 2 penalties and 60 seconds left on the other. So the Dons will be man up for 60 seconds, no matter what.
This is a great opportunity here for the Dons.
Look how empty the field looks now, Logan. It's bare. The Dons need to score here, preferably pretty quickly. Klein. Cook. Fires, sticks side high. He's been trying it all game. A few times it went in, but not this time. Dons are going to want to double the ball. They are man up still for the next 20 seconds. Four to go in this game, 4 minutes that is. Rough check there from Werner. Darcy Mweg is going to work on Llewellyn.
Things are getting chippy here. Fans are irate. Coaches are screaming. Players are screaming. What a great atmosphere.
We're all even. All the penalties have been released. Bickle working hard on Mweg. Mweg just asked for the flag, and they threw it. They waited for him to ask for it and then threw it, as this one's going to go out of bounds. The refs looked at Mweg, they looked at each other, and then threw the flag.
That was a helmet check, but...
It was a penalty by all means. No, I'm not saying it's not a penalty. But it just seems a little weird that he just threw his hand up and then they threw the flag. If you're going to throw it, they should have thrown it much earlier than that.
Certainly.
So Bickle will go out for a minute. And we're going to get a timeout by Loyola. And this game is surely gone from them. But let's talk for a second, Logan. They've played Western Reserve to the closest game they've played all year. Western Reserve, that is. And it is a good sign for the Dons. And this does sound weird saying this if we're currently watching them down by 5 in the 4th quarter. But it is a good sign, Logan, because it means that when you go play Spalding, and it means that when you go play St. Mary's, and probably most other MIA teams, that it's not going to be like this. You know?
Yeah, the MIAA is a top lacrosse league in the nation, but I feel like they pair in comparison to this Western Reserve team.
Yeah, and it's interesting, the MIA is usually the best conference in lacrosse. You have McDonough, who were the top team in the nation for 3 or 4 years in a row with Andy Hillgardner as the coach and McCabe and Brendan Millen on their team. And then, Spalding has had a good run. Calvert Hall were the best team in the nation doesn't make me feel good to say that, but they were the best team in the nation last year. And, Maryland is regarded as the state of lacrosse, but Western Reserve have come in here and pummeled every single Maryland team they've played, and they probably would beat Boys Latin and Calvert Hall as well if they've got the chance to play them. But it just speaks to how just a great roster that Dylan Sheridan's put together and recruiting from all over the nation. They've become in lacrosse what IMG wish is usually regarded as in football. And in my mind, they're not at all the 13th team in the country. They need to be ranked higher. We played Chaminade much closer than this, and Western Reserve were ranked 10 teams worse than Chaminade, and in my mind, that just doesn't seem accurate.
Speaking of rankings, I also feel like after this game, even if it is a loss, Loyola should be considered a ranked team.
Well, we already have a ranked win, and we've played good games versus ranked teams. I think we should be maybe like 23rd, 22nd in the country. It'll happen once we start playing in the MIA, I'm sure.
Certainly.
Man up now, possession for the Pioneers. They have 23 seconds left on that.
And that shot went into the trees and into Chestnut Avenue.
Yeah, Kevin Bladen headed to Penn State. Loyola had a chance to play a game at Penn State's lacrosse field. They played Malvern there, and it was a good game, too. Dons fell short in that one as well. Llewellyn does nice here.
Another scuffle.
2:30 to go as Hunter Harris is going to pick this up. The penalty is released. There's 4 seconds on the shot clock, and he's going to wisely chuck this one into the corner. So the Dons, it seems very unlikely, almost impossible, but they have 2:30 to go and a 5-goal deficit to overcome. And similar to that Georgetown Prep game, you'd rather just see them cut the lead in half maybe, or just put some goals to show that they can compete rather than throw all their cards to try and come back. But just send a message to the other teams in the MIA that they're a competitive team, as this pass from Moser sails way over the head of Mac Bell, and the Western Reserve fans are loving it, especially after how scuffy this game has gotten. They're going to feel very proud of themselves having come away with the win this afternoon.
Yeah, I think Western Reserve fans and players alike are all having in their minds that they have already won this game.
Well, I think by the way it looks, especially that last possession, it looks to the Dons that they've lost the game, which in my mind is worse. 1:50 to go now. Darcy Mwag working on Brady Mern. He's just going to spin back and forth and let this shot clock go. Going to try the double team now.
What a move by number 25.
Yeah, it's Noah Gillette headed to Ohio State, and he was working on McCautry for a second there. They'll be teammates next year in the Big Ten. Harris. 30 seconds to go on that shot clock, and Brady Mern shoves him after the whistle, and late flag, and there goes Bing Birch.
That is Birch's second penalty of the day. He's had a really great game, but penalties have just taken away some of his greatness.
Yeah, and he scored a goal, and it was a good game for Bing Birch. Defensively, he had some really key takeaways. And really, I wouldn't even say just pin that on him in the moment. I think it's just a really frustrating situation to be in. And honestly, in my mind, when you're in the moment, you hear the whistle, but you don't really hear the whistle, and you kind of keep fighting after the play. So I don't even know if that was intentional at all, Logan. But regardless, 1:17 to go, 77 seconds we have, and 60 of those seconds will be taken up by a penalty. 12-7, the Dons trail.
And I think at this point in the game, it's just important for the Dons to show some fight, maybe score another goal, show what they have to.
Well, they're going to be on defense for most of the next minute, so really they just don't want another one to go in, Logan. But no, you are right, and they are showing fight in the fact that they're getting angry and they are pushing hard and they are being aggressive on defense, and it is a good sign. And I think, if you're other teams and other kids from Boys Latin, Gilman, other schools watching in the stands today, I don't think they're coming home and saying, yeah, Loyola's bad, we're going to beat them. I think they're going home and saying, this is a team we got to watch out for, because I think you watch Spalding you say maybe that's the case because they lost by 12. But Loyola, I think this game, like by that metric, if you're going to use that metric, pins them as one of the top teams in the conference.
I completely agree. Loyola has, even in this loss, looked scary at times, and if they get all the pieces together, this could definitely be an MIAA championship caliber team.
You just kind of have to see where everyone else is at, you know? You have to see where Calvert Hall is at, and they lost to Hill. And you have to see where Spalding is at, and they lost to this team by 12. Boys Latin lost to Malvern. Malvern beat Calvert Hall, Loyola, and Boys Latin. Really impressive for them, and they've, skyrocketed to the top of the rankings. So it's going to be kind of difficult to pinpoint where these teams are at. There was a ranking done by the Baltimore Sun yesterday that had Loyola at 5th in the MIA. I don't know about that because they had Spalding above Loyola, who had lost 13-1, again, to Western Reserve. So I'm not sure if whoever made that ranking actually pays attention to these games preseason-wise. Maybe they're just doing it based off of last season. I don't know. But 20 seconds to go in this one. And the Dons do have something to look forward to. They have MIA play next week. They start off John Carroll. And we'll knock on wood as well, but that one should definitely be a win, Logan. John Carroll,
certainly
not known by any means to be a lacrosse powerhouse. With respect to John Carroll, because they have played Loyola pretty good before, as we've got 7 seconds to go in this one. The student section stuck around for the Dons to see this one go out. So time will expire in this one, and Western Reserve are going to milk their celebration because they did come in here and beat the Dons the way most thought they would. 12-7 is your final score. Final thoughts from Logan Kuhn.
It was a great physical game the entire time, and Loyola did really play well. Despite what you see on the scoreboard, this is a really promising look for the Loyola Dons, and if they can stay consistent and keep pieces together, this is definitely a scary look and a scary team to all the other teams in the MIAA.
Well,